Hey there, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is Talking to Myself, the part of the day where I talk to myself about things that I was thinking the night before while laying in bed. Shout out, of course, to Saratoga Peanut Butter, you know the deal. Shout out to Lotus Flame Candle Company, to Fujifilm. Shout out to the X-T3 and the 35 1.4, which are coming in clutch again. TAKSTAR for making a fantastic mic for under $30. As well, shout out to the Kings of Leon, and shout out to just everyone that participates in the community and stuff like that. I really do appreciate it. A couple things to talk about really quick. So I gave you guys an update on the X-T3 that I purchased for $640 with a couple lenses and a cage. So I got that on an eBay bid. Now I got it from a dude who was overseas. I forgot where he was, but basically somewhere in Western Europe. So the issue was he was really pissed off at how cheap I bought it for. $640 for an X-T3 with extra batteries and a cage and an 18 to 55 and an XC35 f2. Expect to get a lot more, but just sometimes you just get bad luck on eBay. Guy got so upset that last night I got a notification from eBay that my money was refunded. It just hit my account now, and the dude put a hold on the shipment and he's gonna get it turned back around somehow, I guess, or it's gonna show up at my doorstep and I have to send it back. So that's a bummer because I had purchased that. So with that purchase, because I was gonna use that for some cinematography stuff and some commercial work I'm doing, I purchased this bad boy. This is the 16 to 55, of course, f2.8. This is actually my second time owning this lens. I owned this lens for maybe about 7 months to a year, right before the pandemic happened. Fantastic lens, pretty great optically, super duper clean. Just nothing really to not like about it. This one's in great condition. Got this off eBay actually on a bid for only $710. Again, eBay bids are fantastic because if you try to get this anywhere else, including MPB or KEH, you're going to be paying anywhere from $850 to $1,000 for this lens used. And so it's a great lens. It'll come in handy. I could do a lot of work with this. Of course, this is going to be for documentary work and everything. That way I have multiple focal lengths at 2.8 aperture. Don't have to worry about my aperture changing and then me having to adjust settings or be on auto setting for whenever I'm recording indoors, outdoors, or doing any transition work, things like that. I'm in full control. So this is a fantastic lens. I'm glad I have it. I hope to use it, enough. If not, I'm going to sell it, of course, if I'm not using this lens enough. But for right now, glad I have the lens. And so the other thing that's coming up in my head is, okay, well, now I want to buy a secondary camera. So there's a couple things I can do. There is a deal right now for an X-T2 with a battery grip and some extra batteries for $755. Pretty good deal, considering that an X-T3 with just a battery grip, no extra batteries, right now would probably run me around, after tax on eBay, probably run me around $900. And that's just being honest. You try to bid any lower or make an offer or anything like that, you're getting turned down. An X-Pro3, trying to purchase that right now, be about the same thing. I'd be probably spending over at least $1,100 after taxes on eBay or anywhere else you're trying to purchase from. The prices have really gone up from when we saw maybe this time in 2020. If you remember, Amazon was running a deal for a brand new X-T3 for $999. The times have changed. People are starting to jump on the Fujifilm bandwagon. They're starting to see how capable it is with photos, with videos, but even more, people are falling in love with the Eterna profile, and people are falling in love with F-Log because Fujifilm delivers you free download the Eterna profile, and I've seen a whole bunch of people falling in love with that, especially wedding photographers. So my options are I can get a nice X-T2 with a battery grip for around, maybe $700 something after taxes and everything. It's actually in Austin, Texas, so I'd be able to just drive over and grab it real quick. Or I could try to wait out for an X-T3 or an X-H1 and things like that. But then I started thinking, for everything I wanted to do and things, the deal with the X-T3 was a great deal. And that's what made me pull the trigger, was I was somehow able to secure that for $640. But the biggest thing that I keep thinking of is, if I'm not getting a deal like that, is it really worth to spend the extra, almost $1,000 for a camera body when, of course, again, the X-Pro3 does it all? And that's the dilemma I'm at right now. What I'm leaning more towards, the top two things, is buying the X-T2 with the battery grip, because X-T2 is going to give me, around 30 minutes recording in UHD, maybe about 10 to 15 minutes in 4K, and it's great footage. It has F-Log. You're able to put on the Eterna profile. And one thing that you guys don't notice is I actually edit in a 4K timeline, and I record in 1080. And I actually crop in on my 1080 image because there's stuff to the side of me that I want to get rid of. So when you guys are watching these videos, and especially the people that have watched them on, Young Ansel told me he's put it on a TV or on a large computer screen. No one is able to tell that I'm not only cropping in 1080, but I'm cropping in so much on a 4K timeline. It basically is rendering the pixel density of a 720 image. But it looks crisp, and that's because Fujifilm does a great job when it comes to their algorithm, when it comes to technology, and when it comes to their bit rate and things like that. Fujifilm does a fantastic job. Everything's easy to unpackage. It's basically, no offense, what Canon aspired to be with the EOS R and their new file system and things like that, and their new files, but weren't able to actually do, if that makes sense. It's everything that the image coming in is so fantastic due to the sensor that you're able to just do whatever you want to do with it, and it's still going to look nice, and you're still getting all this information. This is on a crop sensor body, so that's the thing, is the X Pro 3 hasn't failed me. There's never been a time where I'm like, man, I wish I had something other than the X Pro 3. When I need to record video, I have video capability. When I need to do B-roll, when I need to do real estate shots, etc., I have what I need to have. And so for me to purchase a new body and a new battery grip and things like that, and excuse me if focus starts jumping around because of light coming up in the background. It wasn't there at the beginning, but this is one of the reasons why I love the X Pro 3. It does a damn good job with staying focused on my face during times like this. Even whenever I'm blown out and there's a lot of halation because I have a different black pro mist filter and I'm moving back and forth, it does a pretty good job, more than adequate for what I need. But me buying an X-T2, is it really gonna up my video game? No. Would I get better image out of the X Pro 3? Yes, I would. If I bought the X-T3, would I get better image out of that than the X Pro 3? Not necessarily. No, I mean, I could go to 400 megabytes per second, but what's the point? What's the point of 400 megabits per second? Especially whenever I'm just uploading to YouTube. And whenever it comes to these professional things that I'm doing, this commercial work and things, I just want to be completely honest with you guys. And like, this is not from a pretentious point of view, and I hope you understand I'm not being pretentious. I have never been in a room with a client or with other professionals and we talk about bit rate, we talk about color, what log footage looks like. I mean, we talk about dynamic range, little things like that, but we don't really talk about specs. What we talk about is the finished product. Now, there's questions that come with a finished product like, oh, how did you shoot that? Well, I shot this in 60 frame, this is in 120. Oh, I actually shot this in 1080, I shot this in 4K. Oh, well, the sensor is 6K downsampled to 4K, so I was able to punch in more. Or, oh, I graded this, or I shot, I'm indoors, so I shot S-Log1. Or I'm outdoors, so I shot S-Log3. That's one thing also that I hope people understand, that the 3 different S-Logs, S-Log1, S-Log2, and S-Log3, they all have different applications that are actually better for low light or for vast highlight. If you're shooting S-Log3 in dark areas, that's probably why you have more grain. So pro tip right there, shoot S-Log1 or S-Log2. I mostly stuck with S-Log1 because indoors I felt like there shouldn't be as much dynamic range because I should be able to control everything, so I didn't really want to do anything that would adjust my shadows too much, but I'm talking too much. But yeah, basically my thought is this. If I buy the X-T2 or the X-T3, or if I buy an X-H1, am I going to be wasting money? And part of me says, yeah, I've got work and I've got stuff to do. But at the same time, with the jobs that I have now, that the film equipment's not provided for me, the X Pro 3 is more than enough. Especially now with this lens, the X Pro 3 is more than enough. And then the more I think about it, the jobs where the gear is provided to me, as much as I would love to work with my files and stuff, I could just suck it up and be a big boy and work with others. It's just this thing of being comfortable with the gear that I have, but that's not to say that I can't make anything happen with other gear. A lot of people think and talk about, this camera is different from this camera and this camera and this camera. It's not really. It's mostly the basics. Finding out a menu system and things like that. You could jump over from Fujifilm to Canon and be successful pretty quickly. Why? Because if you're a person that knows the rules of how they operate, of certain things, if you do a little bit of research on YouTube, there's so many ways that you can learn about how to operate these different cameras, to where at this point, personally, I'm 100% honest with this. I don't think that I would benefit, that my clients would benefit from me jumping to a larger, sensor, or an A7S III or an A1 or anything like that. I don't think that would happen. Why? Because in the end of everything, what they're looking for is what I have to offer with my creativity. Period. They're not looking for me to make a video that was made on a camera or on a recorder with the best specs. That's not what they're looking for, because they don't give a damn. Is it going to work? Am I going to make money? That's all they care about. That's all they have to care about. That's all they should have to care about. Your employer doesn't need to know, hey, this does this, this, and this, and this, because they don't care. They want finished product. And whenever I start thinking like that, I realize that, no matter what gear I'm using, the people that I'm working for, they want finished product. You guys wouldn't care if I was shooting this shit on a potato. You'd want a finished product. You want good audio. You want video that's not jumping back and forth or not out of unangle or at a weird angle or overexposed. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for me to tell you, oh, you know what? I did this, this, and this with this camera. You don't need that, dude. You don't need people telling you what is the best thing. You got to buy this, that, and the other. You just want to see if shit works. And so I'm here to tell you, man, the X Pro 3, this shit works. I'm probably not going to buy another camera anymore. I'm probably just going to use the X Pro 3 and rock with it because it works. It does everything I need it to do. The 4K is nice. The 1080 is fantastic. Do I need a B camera? No, because the 4K is so nice with this. And I'm still old school to where when you're doing documentary work, interviews, or anything like that, you segment your questions. You ask a question, let them get everything out. You stop, you write down what your wave track number was. You write down what your video file number was. You make sure everyone's good. You coach them up on the next question. You press roll and you go. I'm OG, but I know that a lot of people like long format, and that's why they want to get the Shogun, the Atmos, which I can't, or whatever they are, which I can't connect to this. But yeah, that rant's based to say I think I'm gonna rock with the X Pro 3. Who knows? Maybe I'll find another good deal. But for right now, there's just not a need for it, man. I don't need to drop another 700 bills just because I can drop another 700 bills. That's irresponsible, dude. That's irresponsible. That's messed up to you guys, because honestly, what kind of example if I'm telling you guys don't stay in debt and don't waste money on stuff you don't need when I'm about to buy shit I don't need. This I'll need. I can use this in real estate. I can use this in video work. I used to use this all the time whenever I was doing work for skateboarders. This is something that I can use, so I'm going to be rocking with this. This was actually a pretty good investment. Besides that, man, that was honestly the biggest thing that I was doing. Shout out to Dorian Coleman. Shout out to Lee DeLeon. Both of you guys, you know exactly what's up. Shout out to Young Ansel. Shout out to Jace Kiefer. I've been really enjoying this whole community thing that's been going on. Guy that I basically got introduced to on Instagram. He's very, very talented. Cameron, it looks like Kinchello. So Cam, shout out to you, man. He's cam.kinch. I don't know how young he is, man, but I know the dude can hoop. It looks like he can dunk. So man's got bunnies. But dude just got some amazing shots. So I know I haven't talked about people to follow on Instagram in a while. But this is a guy that I would definitely follow on Instagram. A lot of environmental photography, which of course I'm a fan of, mixed with some portraiture and some, stuff with models. And the dude is damn talented. I don't know how old he is. I don't exactly know anything about him. All I know is dude looks like he could, guy's got hops. So maybe I'll put that photo up, maybe I won't. But yeah, so shout out to Cam. Thanks for following me on Instagram, man. I truly appreciate that. I hope you see this. But yeah, the photography community thing that I was going for, it's starting to become more and more of a reality, and I'm digging it. I'm liking it. I got my boy Dunk Kid, always communicating, always saying stuff, J.A.Kiefer, always communicating, always talking to me. I've got DMs from people, and it's not like people being weird. It's from people sincerely, just want to talk, wanting to hear about stuff, wanting to communicate, whether it be, my boy Lee, whether it be Harold Smith, shout out to Harold, whether it be Michael, you guys know him as Insert Content, a dude who I think is fantastic. There's even this guy, frankly, Richard. You can follow him on Instagram, this guy, Richard, who had a great conversation with me about stuff that happens whenever it comes to, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but you can see it in the NBA playoffs last night, but whether it be baseball, whether it be football, basketball, now during timeouts or during times of rest in between games, they're switching over to live feed from a mirrorless camera, and you can tell the difference. We were talking about how, because I don't like the look of it. It doesn't match the broadcast. It's a completely different frame rate. It looks like it's shot in 60 frames. It's always overexposed. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. It looks like it's super duper high in saturation. I mean, it looks completely different. It's always on a gimbal. Me, someone who has been used to for broadcast and everything, if you have a steady shot, it's on a jib. But other than that, I'm always used to seeing shoulder rig. So I'm shoulder rig till I die. But you know, having conversations like that, having conversations about what we expect out of the XH2, having conversations about what we expect of the X-T3, conversations about the Nikon Z-FC that's coming out, which, you know, I just found out has a flippy screen. So I don't know how it's retro and has a flippy screen, but I bet you they're going for a retro vibe for hipster bloggers, which is cool with me. By the way, if you're a hipster and that's why you're into Fujifilm, that's why you're into film, that's why you're into this new Nikon Z-FC, dude, I say go for it. Be a hipster. I ain't got nothing against it, man. Honestly, I'm hipster because I love the aesthetic of the Fujifilm. And if people tell you that they just buy it because it's great images, that's only part of it. You love the damn aesthetic. So let's quit playing around and acting like hipsters are a bad thing, as long as you're not a pretentious douchebag. But yeah, man, I love the communication that we have. I really, really do. I super enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things. But the thing that I can't stand the most, the one thing that I do not like about this, and the personal attacks are fine. The shit I get told on Instagram, that's fine. I don't really mess with that, because that's funny to me, because then I start talking about, you know, I'm gutting down your mom, you know, I'm busting backs, you know, stuff like that. You know, I'm saying, you know, maybe if you would have stood up like this, maybe if you would have stood up to someone like this earlier, talk shit to someone like this earlier, sorry, Dorian, maybe your dad would still be alive, because I see RIP dad in their bio, stuff like that. You know, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to win an argument. But the thing that I can't stand, man, is some of you guys, and some of you guys watching this, and you can, and I know it's you guys because you immediately give a thumbs down whenever it's like a few seconds into the video. But a lot of you guys are really, really pretentious and really, really into gatekeeping and acting like photography is this thing that is not only exclusive, but you have to have a certain amount of knowledge to be taken seriously. I'm gonna be honest with you. My boy Dorian Coleman and my boys Lee DeLeon, and even my boy Ansel. He goes by young.ansel on Instagram. They know about 100 times more than me about anything with photography. They know artists, they know painters, they know, you know, all these amazing things. They're sharing this amazing artwork in our group chat. We're talking about who their inspirations are and stuff like this. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know that stuff. I don't. When it comes to lighting, I was talking to Dorian Coleman about lighting and stuff like that. I know lighting from, you know, a simple elementary way that an older man broke down to me so that I wouldn't get confused. You know, he told me lighting is just all about guessing your angles and then diffusing the hell out of it so that you get it right, which I take that into account. You know, my key light, I never have this. I don't know what angle this is supposed to be. I don't have a fill right now. I'm using that as an ambient. I'm using the sun coming in from the window as basically a rim light. I mean, I don't know everything there is to know about lighting. I'm not the best at flash photography. I'm not the best at studio photography. Whenever it comes to videography, I don't always change my shutter to the correct shutter that a lot of people would say. Whenever it comes to log, I don't listen to the 18%, 17% gray thing. I never took time to learn that. I took time to learn what works for me at certain exposures on certain cameras. There's a different one for me for Canon, for Sony, for Fuji, all these things. I don't know about every single camera specs. You know, I learn what I learn, and I don't know what the processor will do and what this will do. That's why I don't take things like Canon color seriously. That's why I don't take things like Leica sensor seriously. By the way, Leica sensor, before anyone tells me their sensors made by a small company that only makes for them, that company also makes multiple other sensors from multiple other countries or companies. So just so you're aware, Leica sensors aren't special. They're literally just Leica branded, like they're made specifically for them with a little bit of flavor, but it's basically, again, like I said, a similar Bayer sensor to other ones. But it's even stuff like that stuff I have to learn because people talk shit. Sorry again, Dorian. And even more, when it comes to all these things, you know, I don't know the most about, you know, shooting in backlight. I'm not the best at shooting sports. I'm not the best at shooting wildlife. I can't tell you things about, you know, chroma and purple fringing because I don't look for that stuff. And even more, you know, whenever it comes to post-production, you know, I'm not the best with all these things that I do. I mean, I've made, you know, short films. I've made commercials for companies. I've shot the B-roll. I've been on sets. I've been backstage talking to people. But the thing that I do know, and that I do pride myself on whenever it comes to this photography, this videography, this YouTube, this business thing and stuff like that, is I do know that there's a sincerity behind the things that I do, because I don't do it so that I can become famous, so that people can know me, so that I can tell people what you have to do, blah, blah, blah. I literally do this shit. Again, sorry, Dorian. I literally do this. I literally have these these talks. I literally talk to a camera. I literally, when I do work, I'm sincere in the fact that I enjoy what I do. This is enjoyable to me. And more than anything, when I'm done creating something or helping someone create something, I want them to come out feeling not only great about what they just saw or what they just witnessed or what they're a part of, but also feeling like they took something away from it. And that's a sincere feeling every time. I don't sit here and rant and whine and talk all this mess and stuff like that just because, you know, I'm bitter and I was upset during the night. It's because these are real thoughts. I am annoyed with multiple camera companies. I do hate on Canon, Sony, Fujifilm, and Nikon because I think they're stupid in some of the things they do. I do hate how you know, these corporations are able to manipulate us into buying stuff that we don't need, and they're not giving us all the technology and all the things that we ask for. You know, I do talk mess about people that are pretentious and gatekeepers and people that I do not like the film community, especially those on Reddit. And I will fight anyone from Analog Circle Jerk. If you're in San Antonio or Austin or New Braunfels or San Marcos or even more specifically Buda, fight me. Like, just fight me. Like, I'll literally give you the address. We can meet somewhere and we can fight in a parking lot. You know, because it's just, the thing is, you know, I want to be able to give something that people are able to understand and people are able to relate to and people are able to receive and feel like, okay, I got something out of it. I don't want to be a douchebag, man. Why do you guys want to be douchebags? That's why I don't like a lot of the photography community, specifically the film community. Why do you want to be a douchebag? Why do you want to tell us about how film is so much better and digital never do anything? Whenever I look at your portfolio and it's damn twigs, it's a Skyline, it's the same old Buick that everyone else is shooting. I've shot that same Buick. What is special about you because it's on film? Oh my gosh, it took more time. Okay, so you develop your own film, that's great. Okay, and you scanned it in, so now the scans have less resolution, and so your film's like, it's just, what's your point? Are you published? That's one thing I always want to ask people that shoot film or shoot like or anything like that is, are you published? I've had my stuff published. My work's actually on a billboard right now in southern New Mexico and in Midland, Texas. I've actually had a lot of my work, a lot of my photography. Actually, yeah, for the past 6 years, I've been on billboards. I've been in magazines. I have you know, some of my stuff being used right now on people's apps. I have graphic design works for confession cards and things like that whenever it comes to churches that are not only in America, but also in Canada and also in Uganda. I have, you know, I've worked with people from the States, from Mexico, from Europe. I've met people all over the world. Like, people know who I am, not in a jerk way or like important people, but like people know, oh, hey, D did that. Yeah, hey, yeah, I used to work with this guy named D and we worked on this, and this. Like, it's not like I'm doing this and I'm doing it for funsies and no one knows who I am. Like, people know. That's why I'm getting calls. That's why I get rung up. That's why I have all these calls from phone numbers that I don't know, because people want to get in touch with me to work with me because they've seen my work now. So that's the thing, is, has your work been published? Because I don't want to be in a community talking to you guys and you have all these strong opinions. And listen, if your work hasn't been published and you're grinding, that's great. But when you're putting other people down and your work hasn't been anywhere, listen, and I'm telling you right now, I'm not talking about, oh, I get paid to do weddings. I'm not talking about, oh, I submitted my stuff to a museum. I'm not. You know exactly what I mean when I say, have you been published? And not just published once. I'm sincerely asking, are you the guy to call? And I don't want to hear, oh, I've been doing this for 34 years. I've had multiple things. Listen, I don't care. I don't care, because if you haven't published, that's great. This is the first time I'm talking about where my stuff has been. You want to know what I care about? Are you actually helping people, or are you demeaning people and saying, oh, I'm trying to help them? It's tough love. It's criticism. You should be able to take, constructive criticism, and all these Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and all this CC, constructive criticism, it's better help you grow. It doesn't help you grow. Constructive criticism is a damn lie. It is the stupidest thing ever. There is no such thing as constructive criticism. How is that helping me grow? You telling me something that I did wrong so that you can feel better about yourself because you're being critical. I wouldn't do like, or it just looks like this, this, and this. There's no such thing as constructive criticism. There's a thing of someone asking you, hey, how can I do better? Or, hey, do you like this? And you saying, it's good, but let's work on this, this, and this. That's a huge difference from you opening your mouth and saying, hey, listen, just some CC. I want to give you feedback and help you out. That's bull, dude. It's stupid. It's dumb. And listen, you come off as the biggest idiot ever. Now you'll have 5 or 6 people be like, oh, exactly, I think the same thing. But listen, you know who you are and who I'm talking about. You're the ones that are going to thumbs down this video. You're the ones that send thumbs downs to the Leica videos and to the Canon videos and to the Sony videos. You're the ones that send thumbs down when I tell people that film's not that great. You're the ones that put the thumbs down whenever I tell people that, hey, listen, you need to work on your composition. Don't even worry about the colors. Like, color science is total BS. No one cares about it. You're the ones that throw a fit whenever I talk about, listen, you don't need IBIS. You don't need 10-bit. You don't even need 4K necessarily all that much as long as you've got a good enough sensor. Everyone is just so upset. They're so sad. They're so heartbroken that, they're not the resource that everyone goes to, that you guys start tearing other people apart. And listen, I don't care if you tear me apart. You can't hurt my feelings. You can't hurt me. You can't. Why? Because I already know that as soon as you start saying that stuff, I'm better than you. I am. As soon as I have someone comes and tells me, oh my gosh, you got everything wrong about Leica, LOL, I already know, hey, I'm a better photographer, videographer, businessman, and person than you. And I can back it up because I've got proof here, I've got proof here, I've got proof in that computer back there, I've got proof in paperwork, I've got proof on a couple billboards in Hobbs, New Mexico and Midland, Texas. I've got proof in a lot of places. So I'm better than you. You shoot a cute Leica, that's great. No offense. And listen, I like Leicas because I would buy Q7 if I could get one for around, like $1,800 or sorry, damn, did I say Q7? Sorry, a Leica Q. I would buy one real quick for that 28mm 1.7. I would buy that real quick, man. Listen, I don't hate on Leicas. I think the bodies are overpriced, the digital bodies, that's dumb. I think the glass is amazing. But even more, there are a lot of people that are just stupid what they say. My boy Lee's got a Leica, he's got a Type 242. Is that what it is, Lee? I'm saying, like, it's not about what you shoot with. Like, I don't mind Canon. I don't mind. Some of the work I'm doing, I have to shoot on Canon products. I was about to buy a C2 100 Mark II. I don't hate Sony. I used to use Sony. I don't hate Nikon. I was hoping Nikon would make a comeback before they came out with the stupid ZFC and stopped and keep ignoring their full frame mission that was supposed to have super fast lenses on that amazing wide flange or whatever. Listen, I'm not hating just to be a hater. What I'm not even hating, what I am hating and what I'm picking on is those of you in the community that have a lot to say and you have nothing to show for it. You know how many people on Reddit have a lot of shit to say? Sorry, Dorian. And the first thing that I ask them is, let me see your portfolio. And they send me some Mickey Mouse type stuff. A river. A car. Oh my gosh. A puddle with raindrops. Oh. A trash can, a dumpster photos are going through, angles on top of a building. Oh, you have a Tiffin Black Promise filter on there? Me too. You shoot only at golden hour? Oh my gosh, a house, another house, another house, another house, another. What do you offer? What do you offer, dude? Seriously. For those of you that are in my DMs, for those of you that are, in the comments and things like that, keep commenting, keep DMing, keep thumbs downing it. Get your friends to thumbs down it. In fact, overwhelm me with more thumbs down than likes, because that's still engagement. I'm fine with that. Listen, I'm not doing this to be your buddy and the likes don't hurt my feelings. I laugh at how many dislikes those Leica cameras have, and I am still in a bet right now that by me at 6 months on this platform, I think right now I'm at 4 and 3 weeks. At 6 months, one of my Leica videos will have more dislikes than likes. I'm in a bet right now. But thing is, I'm not tripping, dude. I'm better than you. We in the photography community that don't talk mess and are actually trying to help people are better than you. My boy Dorian Coleman, go follow him. He's better than you. Why? Because we're helping people out. We're making people better, and we're not pretending like we're something that we're not. We're all growing, we're all getting better, but we're better than you. So that's it. Have a good one.